Good morning, everyone. I am just going to quickly ask before I start if everyone can hear me, just give me a thumbs up or something in the chat. I just want to make sure. Yes, okay. Good morning, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know some of you, it might be afternoon or evening, so thank you. We are very grateful that you are taking out the time to join us for our online launch of our new Calgel art liner gel. I do apologize. I am going to be just admitting a few people before we start. And then while we are waiting, I will just start explaining a few things. So we're very excited to launch the gold art liner gel today. And there will be a promotion on this as well, which we will explain as we go. So this is going to form part of our Calgel art liner range, which we have had for a while. So as you guys know, we do have the premium silver, which is like a liquid silver. And then we also have our standard colors, the A03BK, which is the black. We have got the white, A06WH. This one is a bit difficult to see. And then we have green, A05GR. Let's wait for that to focus. So the light reflection is not helping me. Okay, anyway, let's go. We'll come back to that one. We also have the beige. And the gray. Maybe I should turn this light down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is the gray, A01GY. Okay, so today we're going to be working mainly with the gold, which is the new color that we are launching. And this is in a 1.5 gram Calgel Plus jar. So I'll quickly show you guys what it looks like. I do have an open one here that we can use. So with the gold liner, you do have to stir it before you start. You'll see it does look a bit like the A01SL. At the beginning, you'll see there's a bit of a silver on top, which you do just need to stir through. So you do need to stir this before you start. And then it does separate quite quickly. So if you are going to be using it for a while, just check that you might need to re-stir. And then this gold liner gel is quite light sensitive. So I would suggest not working directly out of the container to rather decant. So I have these laminated sheets that we can use, and I'm just going to decant a little bit, and then always make sure that you close your jar. Also, we have to make sure that we just wipe the rims before we close it, so that it doesn't run into the sides. So always just make sure that you do give it a quick wipe and then close. So this is an ideal way to work with it, is to have a little bit decanted on the side. I know this camera does go in and out of focus, so I'm going to try to make sure that everybody can see what I'm doing. And then I do apologize for background noise as well. we are in an office park, so there will be some traffic going past and people talking and so on. Okay, so today I'm gonna cover a few nail art topics just to make it interesting as well. And we might cover a few basics about our gel system. I'm gonna see the color that's gonna work best for the base. So this might be a little bit of a trial and error. I'm gonna start with SO9BL, which is a nice denim navy dark blue for a base. And then the first little bit of art that we're going to do is just to try to write a word onto our nail surface with the gold liner. So again, remember just to give your gel a quick stir before you start, just to make sure that your pigments are evenly distributed and that you don't have a streaky application. The pigments are heavy and the gel texture is quite soft, so it does tend to settle to the bottom of the jar. Some colors more than others, but still just remember to give your color a good stir before you start. I'm only going to do a single layer application because this is just for nail art demonstration, but just remember when you are working that you do follow the right application protocol. Right. Just going to close that. Okay, so I'm just doing a quick application here, and then I'm going to cure so that we can start. So like I said, the first, I might do 2 examples on one nail just to save time in terms of application of the base color. So we might do 2 different examples on this particular nail. Sorry, there was a fluff in there, so let me just quickly fix this. Okay, I'm just going to give that a quick cure and then we can start with the demonstration. So while you're not working with your brush, make sure that you do cover it. I am going to be reusing this color, so I'm just going to close the brush without cleaning for now, and then my color as well. The brush that I am going to be using in the demonstration is our normal marble art liner brush. Just because on the camera, it is going to be a little bit more visible. The liner art brush, the really, really thin one, is the one that you'd normally use for this, but I'm just nervous that it's going to be too thin and you're not going to be able to see what I am doing. So I'm going to be demonstrating everything on a slightly larger scale than what you would probably do for your clients. Like I said, just keep that in mind when you do work. Obviously, you will just adjust it according to what your clients are asking for. But I am going to be using the GBKM, the normal marble art liner brush that we normally use. But generally, the thinner one, the art liner brush, is the one that you will use for this purpose. So before I do use my brush, I'm just going to quickly soften it with a little bit of base. I can. I'm just checking if everybody's admitted quickly. Yes. Okay, so this is just a little bit of brush prep, and then we can get going. Okay, so just as a demonstration, the first one I'm going to do just a word writing or lettering on the nail. So I'm going to use the word Calgel. And this is not the raised example that we had in the advert. This is just normal, normal writing. Okay. So I hope this is going to be clear. So when you do write with a nail art brush, sorry, I'm just trying to fix the lighting a little bit here. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Okay, so you're going to obviously not use it as you would normally use it with writing. You would start just on the one side, do your curve, and then whatever curve is on the other side, you would then do that there. So, for example, a C, obviously that one's a bit easier, but your second curve you're going to do from that side. So it's going to be difficult to do it like you would do with a pen. Thank you. Every time when I move my hand, the lighting is bad. Sorry, I'm trying to do the best I can here with the lighting situation. Okay, so then your A, you're going to do the same, your curve, and then your next line. You'll do it in sections. Just give me a second. I just want to wipe this lens. Maybe the lens trying to focus. I'm going to give that a cure, and then I think I will probably do the star or the heart. Actually, let me do the leaf on the same nail because that's going to be easier. So again, for the leaf, you're going to use the same gel. So what I do with this is I drag the brush through the gel to make sure that it's nicely saturated, as opposed to picking up a big lump of product that's going to be difficult to work with. So rather just saturate the brush nicely with enough product, so that it looks like more like something like this, as opposed to picking up a big amount of product. Okay, I think whilst that one is curing, I'm going to prepare another tip quickly for us. And using the same color. So obviously the techniques that I'm sharing, or the art demonstrations that I'm sharing with you today, you can use any of the art liner gels, the colors. It doesn't necessarily have to be the gold. We are just using the gold because of the fact that it's a new product that we are launching today. But you could obviously do this with any of those colors. Okay, so now we can do our star. So how we do the star, I think I must maybe demonstrate this on a piece of paper before I do it on the nail. Okay. So I do have these notes that we can send out to everybody afterwards, so you don't have to do screenshots or draw anything. You can just watch. So the first one that we are going to do is the star. So this is a freehand star drawing. You'll start with a dot as a center. So the gray area on these nails is just to keep in your mind. It's not something that's going to be on the nail. Only the black dot is what you'll see. But you have to obviously envision where you want the star. So that's why there's this one here. So you'll have your dot as a center point for the star. And you'll have also what I didn't add on here. What you can do to make it easier for yourself is you can do 5 smaller dots around that center one. So for example, if this is your center dot, you can do 5 dots around that, and then use that as a guide if it's going to be difficult for you to envision the star on the nail. So once you have done that, you'll then follow the following guideline where we have put the arrows there. So going down, diagonally up, across, and then diagonally down, and then your last line up. So it basically looks like this. Starting from here, you'll go down, across, across, across. Oh, no, that's not right. So you basically do that in essence. So let's quickly do that on our nail. Let's bring everything back into frame. Okay, so we're going to have a dot as a center point. And then I'm just going to draw without doing the dots. So you're going to go from your upper corner down, diagonally across, that way, and then close up the star. And then you'll obviously fill it in and balance it out. So if you have a corner or an edge that's not exactly perfect, you can balance your end result. And there you have a gold star. I'll repeat that. I'll do another one on the side. So starting with a dot as a center point to guide you, you will then do your star around this, obviously envisioning it in your head. You'll go from the top down, diagonally across, down, and then connect the last line there. You'll then balance everything out and fill it in nicely with your color. So there we have 2 stars. Okay. So we're going to cure that. And then our next nail should be ready as well. So for the next one, I'm going to also do 2 on 1 nail. I'm going to show you guys how to do a freehand heart. Let me just fix that quickly. Right. So we're going to do the heart this time. This one is a little bit easier. And you're going to work with a Y shape. So you'll envision a Y shape before you start, obviously knowing where you want to place your heart. And then you'll do 4 dots along that line where the Y would have been. Let's see if this focuses a bit better. Okay, so your center one is going to be the lowest point of the heart there. The 2 dots at the top are going to be your curves, and obviously the one at the bottom will be the point of the heart. So you'll use that Y shape to help you draw the heart shape, which you'll end up with at the end. So you can decide on this whether you want to leave it just an outline or whether you want to fill it out. So I'll quickly just show that in demonstration. I'm just going to do one in the center to make it easier. So do your Y shape by placing dots. Sorry, struggling to focus. There we go. So now you can see the Y shape there that I've done with the gold dots. You'll then connect these, making sure that your 2 dots at the top are your high points, and the very bottom one is going to be the point of the heart at the bottom. So starting at the top, sorry, this is going to be a bit blurry. I'm trying to connect there. You'll then do the same on this side here. That will be your high point, curve down. And there you have a nice gold heart. So this is just the outline. Obviously, you can fill it in if you want to. If you want to have it solid, you can fill it in. You can even fill it in with a different color if you want to. So that's just a basic heart shape. So I'm just going to quickly repeat that. I'll try and do a smaller one. So you'll have your Y shape by making dots. I hope it's clear there. You can see the 4 dots. You'll then connect them, making sure that your curve or the high point of the heart is there at the top, connecting towards the bottom. Sorry, I've got a camera in front of me, so I'm struggling to do the curves nicely, but you guys get the idea. And there you have another one. So that's a very, very easy way to do a freehand heart if you are not confident to do any freehand art. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly cure that, and then we can do another one. I think I'm going to do the leaf on the same one, and then we will quickly prepare another nail for the others. Okay, so I still have a little bit of space on here. I'm going to quickly demonstrate just the leaf. This one's quite easy. It's not too complicated, so I didn't make additional notes for this one. But you'll basically just have a guideline of where you want the center of the branch or the shape that you want. And once you've put that down, you can just go ahead and draw nice leaf details onto that center guideline. And you can stack them according to however you'd like the result to be. So that's just a basic, there we go, basic leaf branch, if you will, at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll quickly just demonstrate that with a pen. So you basically are going to be using a line as your center point, and then you will stack your leaves. So I just really used one side, other side of drawing, one side, other side, as opposed to trying to do that. It's very difficult to do that with a brush that like that, and that's thin and flexible. So you'll do curve and then curve, and you'll close it up that way. And you can layer these, you can do them different colors overlapping each other, but that's your basic technique that you're using. And that's generally the rule for everything that I'm doing today. Even if you were doing the writing, you would have done curve, and then if you wanted the curve to go this way, you would have put it there. So it's always this way, that way. So right, left, or up, down, depending on what you are drawing. So for example, if you were doing the A, you would do the one side and then the other side separately. I think our nail is ready. So for the next one, I'm going to do two different flowers. So this is a little bit more interesting than what we've done up until now. I'm going to show a little bit of different art that's not related to the gel liner. So this is a 5-petal flower that's going to be flat gel art. And then on top of that, we'll do, after that's cured, we'll do a little bit of a gold outline. So what I'm going to use for this is just the base as a wet layer. So this is the pink base, CGOC. It's got a bit of a pink tint. And then this is the one that we are going to use to do a wet layer. So a wet layer basically is just a layer, a very, very thin layer of uncured gel that you apply and then do art on top. And basically what this does is it's just going to help your art to level and to flatten. We just want a thin layer. We don't want it too thick because then it might blend out unevenly or spread out a bit too much. So we're just going to do a very, very thin layer. So you'll see my brush will fan in this case because we do want a just flat layer of gel. And then I'm going to repeat the very important part is do not cure this layer. So this is just a base, very, very thin layer of base gel. You can use the O1 mix if you want to. This product over here, this is the clear mixing gel. And you can use this if you prefer as well. Okay, so just to make it visible, I'm going to be using white. White on top of the dark blue is going to show up quite nicely. And again, remember just to stir your color before you use it. So in this case, if you really want to, if you're not comfortable with using a brush, you can use a normal dotting tool. I am going to be using the same brush that we used previously. I'm just going to wipe it down. Okay, so 5-petal flower is just dots in a circle. So a dot is created by lifting up your brush slowly. So touching and then lifting up. So if I show it to you this way, you will touch and then lift up slowly so that the tail that's created doesn't drag onto your gel. Sorry, this is not 5 petals, it's 6 petals, but still, same idea. Okay, if you wanted to get a different shape, you could put your brush back into the dot and just drag the tail out. And this will self-level with the gel, so it won't be bulky. So the white's very reflective, so it's struggling to focus. So I'm going to quickly cure that, and then we'll use the gold just to give it a nice outline. And maybe a center as well. Remember to always clean your pot before you close it. Okay, all done. So now I'm going to use the gold outliner just to give this a little bit of a different effect. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use the gold to create a center. And then also just to before I cure this, I'm going to use the same nail just to demonstrate the rose. So what I'll do is I'll demonstrate it first on the nail and then I'll draw it for you on a paper. Sometimes it's easier to see what's going on that way. So when you do a freehand rose, actually it's quite easy. You start from a center point, which is a C shape normally, or you can do like a spiral for the center. Actually, let me draw this first. It's going to be easier to see what I'm doing that way. So there is an example of the rose there on the printed page. You guys can see. And that one was done with the silver, the AO1SL. So how you would basically start off on a larger scale is you would have either a interlocking C shape as a center, or you can do like a spiral for the center. So it just depends on which one is more comfortable for you to do freehand. And then you're going to stack petals around that so they can touch and overlap. And as you go out, they're going to be bigger, obviously. And you can curve them so that they look nice and natural. So that's basically the shape that you're going for. It's very easy and it just ends up looking like a rose, even if it's not perfect. Everybody's is going to look a bit different. And it does take sometimes a little bit of practice. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, so center, I'm just going to do the C shape. You can, as you move out, you can press a little bit onto the brush to make your petals a bit thicker as you go. And you can make them as big as you'd like. Okay, I'm going to do another one on the other side, just to repeat that. So again, I don't have a lot of product on the brush because it's going to be difficult to control. And starting just by giving myself a center point, you can then stack your petals around that. Come on. There we go. So there you can see the 2 roses in the corner, and then we've got the 5 petal, 6 petal flower in the center. Okay, so I'm going to quickly cure this. I will recap everything at the end. So if you Do you have a bit of a signal issue or you've logged in and out? I know a few people have gone in and out. If you have missed anything, I will do a quick recap just at the end before we sign off. Okay, so I think I've covered everything in terms of what was on these examples. We have done the star with flower, the leaf shape, the rose, and the heart as well. So what we're going to demonstrate now is something a little bit different. And we're going to use a product called O2 Mix. And this is quite a new product. We haven't had it for a very long time. But basically, you can mix this into any color and you can create raised nail art, which is quite nice. So anything that you can imagine or come up with, it's quite a fun product to play with. And like I said, you can mix it into any color and it's going to go into that raised format that you've placed it in. So just to be a little bit different today, I'm going to show you how to do that into a letter, and then we're going to use the gold to brush onto that to make it pop. So I'm going to stick with my denim blue that we've been using. Okay, I'm just going to give that a quick cure. We'll do then, I am going to be using the same, normally I would use the same color, so I would use the same, this is SO9BL, just looking for the lid, to mix into the O2 Mix. But just for this demonstration, I'm going to use the white just so that it's a little bit more visible. I'm just scared it's not going to, you guys are not going to be able to see what I'm doing if I use the same color. But ideally, I would be using the same color that I've got on the nail because I want to have it like a 3D raised effect of that same color. But for now, just because it's a demonstration, I am going to use white just so that it's clear for everybody. So I'm going to use my MO1WH. So what you'll do is you'll decant a little bit onto any surface that you can mix on. And you can then use your art mixing gel. It looks like this. And we're going to take a little bit of that. And mix it into the white. That should be fine. Okay, so on top of this nail, I'm going to be using the same brush. I just want to quickly clean it off. Using the same brush, I'm going to do a raised letter using the O2 Mix mixed with the white. So first of all, what I do is I just take a little bit just to put a guide down for myself, because if I start layering a thick amount of gel right from the start, it's a little bit difficult. So what should we do? Let's do an A in capital. So I'm just going to put a guide down for myself of a flat layer of where I want that letter. And then I will build on top of this. So again, this can be anything. It doesn't have to be a letter. We're just using that for demonstration. As you guys can see, this is still quite flat. And once I've put my base down, I'm not going to cure this. What I am going to do now is I'm going to pick up quite a lot of gel of the mixture that I've done. And I'm then going to do side-to-side movements on top of this. And you'll see that it will kind of build. So you can keep going until it's raised enough, according to how thick you would like this or how raised you would like this. But you'll basically do up and down and side to side. I'm going to try and do this from the side so that it's a bit more visible. So I'm just using my brush to guide this into place, basically. So if you had to try and do this without the mixing gel, it probably won't cure because the gel is going to be too thick. As you guys know, if you have too much gel, it doesn't cure properly. So it does make like a wrinkled effect at the end. So this is going to help that it cures all the way through. And also, it gives you the raised effect. So if you would try to do this without the mixing gel, it's going to level out onto your surface. I don't know how visible it is, but this is quite raised. You can keep going if you want. Yeah, I think I'm going to cure this. And then I'm going to use the gold just to give it a brushed accent. What you can do, I'm not going to do that, is you can put another color over that if you would have wanted to. Before I've put no, actually, I'm not going to do it that way. So now what you can do, you can keep an older brush, maybe one that you wanted to throw away, one that wasn't great anymore, for this, because obviously you'll get a bit more texture with an older brush. But for now, I don't have one, so I'm just going to press this one so that it's a little bit fanned, and pull out the sides. I'm going to dip it just a little bit into my gold. And I don't want a lot of product on here because I just want to brush it over for that brushed metal. So I've taken a lot of the product off of the brush. I'm going to cure that one more time just to make sure that it's all the way through. And then what I'll do when I'm done with that is I think I'll finish it off with a matte top, with the matte top gel, and then we'll see quite a nice result from that. So this is the Calgel matte top gel. You'll apply this over any color to make it go, to give it a matte finish. And it's like a velvety, nice, soft result. Okay, so this is cured. Try and hold it a bit closer. Sorry, this light is not working with me. Okay, but I think once we've put the matte on, it'll be clear. Okay, so I'm just going to brush this over. Okay, I'm going to clear that. We'll put the matte on, and then hopefully we'll be able to see a bit better. Okay, so with the matte top gel, you do also have to just give this a quick stir before you use it, because it does also have heavy particles that settle to the bottom of the jar. So we're just going to quickly give that a quick stir, and you'll see it will go milky. So you want to have that sort of cloudy, milky look. Okay. Okay, while we wait for that to cure, I'll quickly show you some of our other new colors that we've launched. So this is the new look of the Calgel Classic colors. And I don't know why this thing doesn't want to focus. Here we go. So this is BB20. We've recently launched, and as you can see, we've got a nice color indicated sticker on the top. So this is the new look of the Calgel Classic. So all new colors launched in this range. We can have these nice color indicators at the top. There's the color. So this is quite a nice color. It's like a soft, I would say like a sand beige almost. Very, very nice color. Nice and versatile. And then we have one that we launched right after this one, BB21. Just do that. So this is BB21. As you can see again, the nice color indicated sticker. This one is a little bit lighter, I would say, in color. It's not as warm as the other one. but also really, really beautiful. Okay, so that's BB21. And then we have our neon from the Calgel Plus range in 3 colors. So these photograph really, or they're difficult to show because they're so bright. As you can see, the camera's bouncing it back. You can't even see the writing on here. So these are really difficult to photograph, but they are very, very bright neons. This one is a orange, a little bit more visible with the top off. Yeah, really the camera doesn't want to look at this. It's very, very bright. Okay, so that's the orange. We do also have the 2 pinks. The one is like a little bit of it's got a bit of an orange undertone, the O2ME, this one. And the other one is more of a darker pink. So again, the camera is not showing this color very nicely. If you want to have a look at them properly, you can go and have a look at our Instagram page or the Facebook page as well as the website, and you'll be able to see these colors a little bit better. But they are very difficult to photograph because of the fact that it's so bright. It kind of reflects the color back at the camera. So this is O3NE. Very, very nice bright pink. And again, you can see on the lid, the color is completely different in the jar. So it's just because of the way it's reflecting the color back. Okay, so our top should be cured. I'm going to quickly wipe it down and then we'll see the result. Matte top gel, you do need to wipe. There is a tacky layer or a sticky residue after you've cured it. So we are just going to quickly wipe this down. And it might be the black on the blouse. You can see it's raised. So you can have quite a lot of fun with that product. You can do raised flowers, raised letters, even raised hearts. We did the hearts and the stars today. You can raise them if you want. And like I said, you can mix any color into this, so you can really have a lot of fun. But you don't need to put top coat over them. If you use the O2 mix, the mixing gel. But obviously in this case we did because we wanted the matte finish. So yeah. Okay, so that's basically it for the demonstration with the gold art liner. Our beautiful A04GD. So this is like a very soft gold. It's not a yellow gold. So very nice to work with. I'm going to just quickly do a recap before I say goodbye. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly recap. Like I said, our A04GD, our gold art liner, as part of our Calgel art liner range. This is used for drawing art. So normally you would use your very, very thin. Let me see if I have one. I'm just going to quickly wait for somebody to quickly give me that brush. So the best brush to use for this is going to be the art liner gel brush. It's very, very thin. Although this one is a little bit more, thinner than that. As you can see, you can really do really thin hairline strokes with this brush. So very, very nice fine details, outlines, things like that. So as opposed to the marble art brush, which I used today. Also nice, also thin, but obviously big difference between that and that. Okay, so just a quick recap on the star. I will send this out to everybody, by the way, so don't worry about taking screenshots and making notes. To do the star, here's a very easy guide. You've got a dot as a center point. Please focus. I think it's the white. It doesn't want to work. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so you're going to use your dot as a center point, and then you're going to go diagonally down, diagonally across, that way across, and then connect your last line. So basically, as a center point, you'll then go around it like that. Close up your star, and you'll fill this in and balance it out as necessary. But that's an easy guide to draw a star. Your result looks something like this. Then our next one was the heart. The heart's also very easy. You can use a Y as a guide to draw. You'll do 3 dots in a Y shape. It'll end up looking like this. And you'll connect those dots to create a heart shape. Your 2 top dots for the Y, the arms or the hands, is going to be the high points of the heart. And then the center is the very low point there, and then the sharp point at the bottom is obviously the dot there. In this case, you can leave it open or fill it in, depending on the look you want to go for. And then we have a little bit of a result over here. I didn't fill those in. And then we also have a little leaf shape on here, which is also very easy. These are just lines used to create that leaf shape. And this is really nice for a very simple, classy nail art option where you don't want to draw too much excessive things on the nails. Okay, we also have our flowers. So we did the rose and the flower with the gold lines for accents. So just a quick recap on the rose. I'm not going to recap the flower, the dotted flower. You either use a spiral or 2 interlocking C shapes for the center, and you'll stack petal shapes around that. As you go towards the outside, they will get larger, obviously, to give you that rose result. You can do them wavy or you can do them straight, depends on the look you want to go for. And then you will end up with something like that. There we go. Okay, and then lastly, we just did this one, the raised letter. Let me see if it also shows better. I think it's the white that's reflecting a bit on there, but you guys can see it's raised. And you use the O2 mix. Let me just quickly show you again. The product looks like this. And you can mix, you take a little bit of that and you mix any color into it. And then you can use it to create any raised nail art with the gel. We did the letter A today. Quite nice. I used the gold just to brush over that for a sort of a brushed metal effect. So just to give you a different option, and that's not just drawing art, so that you can do this kind of thing with it as well. So the liner art, just to mention as well, these art liner gels are not for full nail application. So you're not going to apply these over the entire surface of the nail like you would do, for example, with a color. These gels are very thin in consistency and they're not going to be strong enough. Sorry, wrong one. They're not going to be strong enough on their own. Also, you might have a little bit of difficulty in curing the product in that case because it wasn't designed for that purpose. So make sure that you just use this for art, nail art, drawing art, anything like that, lines, that sort of thing. I wouldn't suggest applying it over the entire surface of the nail. If you would like to do that, if you are going to do that, rather use your art glitters they are more designed for that. So yes, that is it, I think, for the session. Just quickly checking my notes, but I think I've covered everything. Just quickly for the promotion on this product, I will send it out afterwards as well. So we're not going to talk prices now because we've got different areas and different countries and all of that. But we do have a 10% for everybody that joined the session. So for today, if you do order the AO4GD, the Gold Art Liner Gel, it's 10% off. And then for the next, I think, 2 weeks, we do have a promotion on the set with the art liner brush. The cap looks like this. Sorry, this one is marked, but your cap looks like that. So it's for the set with the liner gel, the art brush, and the brush cap. I think it's 25% off. I'll just double check. So we do have this promotion on as well. That's for everybody. But for the attendees of the seminar, we do have 10% off the art liner gel as well. Yeah, so difficult to see sometimes. I know in everything being so reflective, as you can see, even if I do that, the light does bounce. So I hope everybody could see at least the demonstration. But if anybody wants any help afterwards or you know, wants individual help, just let me know. And then we'll do that. I'll try to take quite a lot of photographs as well to send everybody. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for joining us. There will also be a recording available, but not straight away. We just give us some time just to edit and put it together. And then I will send out an email. Thank you for joining. Have a lovely Monday. Have a good week. And we'll see you all soon.